All right, people, new camera, same camera. I bought another C200 so that I could come out here whenever I wanted to, have a camera at my house, not have to go to the garage. Like today, I would not have filmed. I would not have gotten the video out, gotten the camera out and shot a video here today. But since I have the camera here, it's much easier. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to go get stuff. So it works out great. So anyway, we're gonna do a wash and whatever else I do here. Stop calling me people from wherever you're from. I don't want to talk. So one thing I wanted to do was update my foam cannon here with Brake Buster. So I want to swap this over to the new bottle. So let's do this. Need some Teflon tape. This is a recommendation. I think we have these in stock right now, so if you want one, I think you can get one. I got a new Sigma Art Series lens. So we're going to test out this lens and see how it does in comparison to, there we go, in comparison to the Canon lens that I use on my other C200. Glenn was selling this in the OG marketplace, got my gears turning. I've been waiting on the new C70 to come out, because the R5 isn't going to work very well for what we want to do. You know, shooting these long format videos where the camera's running for, you know, an hour at a time. So I don't think that would work out very well for me. Let's transfer this over using the funnel. Let's see how this does. It should work great. Yeah. But yeah, so I've got a new, this is an 18 to 35 f1.8 Art Series lens from Sigma. I've always thought of Sigma as being cheap and generic, but they've gotten really great over the years. So I've got that. I've got the Sennheiser AXS wireless mic system with a, I think this is the MKE2 mic. The only problem is the way that this mic sets up, it sits right on my neck here, and so I have to, it's fine inside in the air conditioning, but out here in the humidity, it gets a little sweaty. So I'm just gotta consider, I'm gonna throw this away. Throw this bottle away, we don't need that anymore, since we got the new bottles. And then the other thing I wanna do is swap out this jankiness here. Shoot, oh, okay. Yeah, I've got all these new sonic tools. Part of the reason why I'm getting all the sonic tools is so that I can upgrade my stuff out here, but we'll be talking about this, I'm sure, in this video here. Today I'm going to be building a new garage at the house here, so I don't see why it would make sense to upgrade the tools out here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this wash bay. I may keep it. It may make sense to have a couple of different testing spots, work on some different, you know, this could be our sort of prototype area. Plus in the winter time, it's kind of nice to wash outside, because I am going to be building a dedicated wash bay in my new garage if I can get it done. So hopefully I can. So we sell these little screws. I'm sure you could find the screw somewhere. I don't know what size it is. That's the problem, but MTM sourced them in stainless, so you get rid of the black oxide, which inevitably, that's the thing with the Sigma lens. I don't know how it's going to do with autofocus. But I got this little black oxide thing here that's all rusted up, and so I'm replacing this piece here. And now we've got our foam cannon, our secondary foam cannon with Brake Buster all set up. And that's still an MTM plug. Yeah, shoot, I should have grabbed some plugs too over to the more precise Mosmatic plugs, but that's what we got. I've already done it to the other one. So I don't know what we have these screws in the store for, like $1 or something like that. Of course they don't cost $1, but I have another one sitting here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so you just have a little stainless cap head screw. Some people are complaining that it didn't fit. I don't see how it doesn't fit. This is these are two really old foam cannons. Actually, no, one of them's new, one of them's really old. So let's see why it wouldn't fit unless you were trying to put it in some generic knockoff or something like that. Okay, let's set up our foam cannon with some GSF. I've already started on the process. I'm pretty sure I'm in love with this soap. I've already talked to Andrew from Koch-Chemie. I'm going to make a decision on what pronunciation I'm going to use, if I'm going to do it properly or do the made-up US version, which would be Koch-Chemie. And this is the prototype 3D printed funnel. I don't know when I'm going to have the funnel, but we should have it at some point. So there's 150 milliliters of soap. Oops. The funnel is not as useful with this soap because it's thinner. And so what I'm working on doing is, I don't really care to have this soap. This is 25 bucks for this, 1 liter. And so I'm going to be bringing 5 liters and we're working on 20 liters. So I think we got the go ahead for 5 liter. The question is whether we can get the 20 liter or not. And then Anthony from the Rank Company is sworn by this motor plast, which we're going to use very similarly to the, I'm going to put it on the engine bay, even though we're about to swap the engine. But this is very similar to, what do you call it? Meguiar's hyper dressing, only supposedly better. So we're going to try that application here today. And I got my cap. I got a fresh 24 ounce. I think 24 ounces is the right size. I think this is the size you want. But this is the OG tire dressing, and I have the original prototype set up over there. But I wanted to get, one of a fresh bottle, make sure that the prototype isn't different from the bottle. Use it from what we're buying in totes. And then the other thing we're going to work on, I got to put something on the hood, even though we're going to PPF it, so I don't want to coat it. You don't want to PPF on top of a coating, it won't adhere very well. And so the spoon hood is on the car, and I didn't put any, I corrected it as much as I could. And the methodology here is we're going to put PPF on the hood, so that way it hides all the deeper scratches that aren't going to come out. I may end up having it re-cleared, having it clear coated, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what Ryan and Billy think when I send it down there, but it's headed in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks down to St. Pete to LHT to have John swap the engine with the B18C JDM engine and transmission. I got a new brake master cylinder for it because the brake pedal's super spongy, so I got an ITR brake master cylinder to put in. I might put that in tomorrow. But I wanted to wash the car. It hasn't been washed in a while. The wheels haven't been coated or taken care of yet. But I still got a lot of tweaks and a lot of stuff to do. But I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, I want to put something on the surface. So I have these 3. I have Quick and Shine, Finish Spray Exterior, and Quick Finish. So this may just be a quick detailer. I don't think this adds anything. But I think Finish Spray. Now, Finish Spray has some sort of lime remover, and then we have an all-around Finish Spray. So this says cleans, maintains, preserves all smooth and painted surfaces in a single step. Previously applied veneers and waxes will preserve, ideally suited for exhibition goods and showrooms for quick finishing. So I don't think that's going to do much. Same thing with Quick Finish, cleans, cares, and seals all smooth painted surfaces in a single step. Previous applied polish and waxes will be maintained. So I think I'm going to try Quick Finish on the surface and see how that does. But anyway, let's hose off the engine bay. We'll spray our motor plast on there, and then the problem with a Civic is that, and I might put a towel on the belts. I remember back in the day, if you spray the engine bay, the belts tend to squeak for a little while. So we'll try to avoid that, but let's get set up. It's gonna be super yellow in this video today because it's really yellow outside. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday. All right, so again, the hood doesn't have anything on it, which probably not smart. I should have just sealed it. I should have put some, and that's what I may end up doing. I just wanna see how this Quick Finish stuff does. But I should have just put some power lock on the hood. It really won't matter because we'll just do a quick little polishing. So I did a little bit of modification here. If you're an Inside the Hex member, you would have seen this, but I did, I drilled a hole here in the hood and kind of tried to tuck our windshield squirters. These are just sitting here for now, but it's not going to stay like this. Our remote reservoir thingies are gonna get moved somewhere. John will hopefully find somewhere cool for it. Let's see. I don't know if I can cover up the belt. Yeah, I can. Let me just put a towel right here so I don't end up some squeaking. So, hopefully we don't mess up this video. Thing is a new camera, but I think we set it up identically. It's not really very dirty in here, but I do want to just kind of spray it down. I think everything should be good. All the wires are all sealed up in here, so we should be good to spray it down. I just want to see what that motor plast looks like and how it reacts. I don't remember, did I do hyper dressing in here? I don't think I did. So that's all I really need to do. And then you spray it on moist. It smells really good. And then you just let it dry on its own. Call it a day. This is not the best engine bay to test it because there's not a lot of plastics and stuff on this like there are on others. But it'll be an interesting little test. See if this product ends up being something of interest. Cool. So that's all we're doing with that. It's gonna look so cool when we get the B18 in here. It already looks cool. When we do the B18, it's gonna be freaking amazing. The car's already looking good. The wheels, got some work to do, offsets, and I haven't aligned it or anything yet, but these wheels are looking pretty decent. Gosh, certain angles of this car look so cool. Other angles, not so great. So my new mirror should be here in a couple of days. If you didn't watch that video and you want to get a laugh, you should probably go check that out. But again, these wheels haven't been, I haven't coated or treated these wheels yet, but we'll just clean them up here. I'll be removing them because what I plan on doing is, or what I'm going to do, not plan to do, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing some fender modifications both in the rear and the front. We've already done some, but I'm going to be doing a lot of really high quality fender modifications, let's call it. So that we can fit the wheels a little bit tighter, not so tucked. And I'm probably going to come up a little bit in the front here. It's settled a little bit. So I might come up in the front and the rear a tiny bit. And then I'm going to do some molding to the fender well. There's tons of room in the fender there. It just needs the fender liner to be modified. But if I haven't earned your trust yet, I'm probably not going to earn it. I'm telling you. I'm going to do this car right. It's all said and done. Let's see. So I got the spoon brakes, got the brakes all set up, but the pedal's super spongy. So thanks to you guys who made the suggestion that I get a larger brake master cylinder, because the new 4-piston calipers. In the front here, you know, the pedal feel is really crappy and spongy. And so it stops really well. I bedded the brakes, went skidding down the road because I forgot that this sucker doesn't have ABS. And, but I'd like the pedal feel to be better. I'm starting to think maybe I'm gonna need to, maybe some of the final tweaks will involve me doing some, like an ITR steering rack, like many of you have suggested. We'll wait to put the S2000 steering wheel and see how that changed the car. So my friend All Day Anthony, check out his channel on Civics if you're watching Civic stuff. But he swears that as soon as I put that S2000 steering wheel, it's going to be the biggest transformation of the car, the feel of the car, the look of the interior. I'm just waiting on the airbag to ship. I didn't want some janky eBay crap. I wanted a new, brand new in a box version. So that's what I got. I'm gonna make sure I get all this soap out of here. This will be good. It'll make it a little easier to coat these wheels coming up. Press-all bottles are in Miami. Just waiting for them to come up. So I'm gonna be swapping out all my press-all bottles and fresh. And hopefully we'll have our labels at around the same time. Working with Pamco labels to get those done. The other thing, I'm probably going to try to find a set of gunmetal wheels that aren't so dark. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that done in time or not. I guess there is no timeline here, but I don't want to wait 6 months to do the giveaway on this thing. Oh yeah, I like my new camera setup. I'll have it on my Gitzo Mountaineer tripod, my 3 Series Mountaineer. I just need to get a secondary screen because I'm having to flip the screen back and forth. But the cool part for me in shooting myself with the C200 is that I have the screen on the front and I'm able to see to make sure I'm in frame. If you guys, you OG people have been around a long time, remember a lot of videos out of focus and out of frame back in the old days. But Mike, our cinematographer, is working on a bunch of videos we shot this week, so I figured I'd just do old school, shoot this by myself. Actually, for this, I'm just going to go easy detail. So the Civic is coming together. Should be completed in the next 3 months or so. The goal is to do a giveaway January on it. We'll see if we can get that done. I tell you what, man, driving down the road, the windows down, old school, feels so old school. Feels just like I used to feel. I've been getting, my anxiety's been improving, so I've been able to drive around quite a bit more clearly without freaking out. So I've really been able to kind of enjoy just driving this thing. The suspension really turned out great. I was afraid it was going to be a bit too much and too harsh, but no, it actually turned out really well. So I'm really pleased. Really pleased with the suspension. The stereo helps to mask all the squeaking and squeaking that you get from the, not that anything's like broken, it's just that, you know, the chassis on this is not particularly very stiff. And so when you put all these frame braces and stuff on this car, you hear it all, you know. It all makes lots of creak and squeak noise. It's part of the. I really like these Falcon Azenas. They look cool. Got to do some denibbing. Got to coat the wheels. Even though I coated this car, I'll probably end up doing like when it's finally done, I'll probably end up doing like a superficial polishing and then just like a coating adjustment. Just clean the exhaust tip. The Fujitsubo exhaust actually turned out pretty nice. So I'm really pleased with how it turned out. It's gonna sound perfect when I get the test pipe and Toda header on here, because right now it's a stock header. Getting rid of that Megan, that header, I didn't realize that header's like 180 bucks new. Getting rid of that really helped make it sound better. So you get a little bit of amplitude, a little bit of volume, but not like the boomy, droney that the Skunk 2 had. The Skunk 2 is terrible. I've got to sell that thing if anybody wants it. I'm telling you, these racing, RACESENG, these lugs, one of my favorite parts in the whole car. Also pumped that I bought some new rear rotors. You can see I did you probably can't see, but I did a good job bedding them. Got some good looking pad material on there. Proper pad transfer. What I did was, I should have filmed it, but I did 8 stops from 45 to say 5. And then I did 2 like medium stops, I guess you could say. And then I did 2 aggressive stops from 60 to 5-ish. And then I drove and let them cool off. So I drove like 15 minutes or so, let them cool off. Didn't pull the e-brake when I got home. And got some nice bedded brakes. Not too shabby. So, the Civic is looking sharp. I don't see as many comments about, you're gonna ruin it. I said, I don't think so. I don't think so. But man, I've had a real, I guess you could say, not life change, but I've had some real breakthroughs in my own personal existence in the last 3 or 4 months about how to leverage help from the people that I've hired to do the job, to not feel like I need to do it all myself. I've made some real headway on some of the things I have in my head, like the vision I have for this whole thing of, what am I doing with this whole Milwaukee thing? What am I doing with Sonic Tools and these bigger projects? Because people are, it's funny, every step of the way I've had, some pretty significant pushback from people that just don't understand it, can't see what I'm working toward. And so the Sonic Tool thing kind of opened my eyes up that people just don't get it. They don't get what I'm after here. Yes, the byproduct is that I get every tool, and that's super cool. That's the byproduct. But the main purpose of the project is to get every tool so that I can simplify it, I can break it down. In order to do that, it's so much easier rather than trying to do it from a catalog, it's much, much easier to do it when you have catalog, spreadsheet, tool in hand. And that's part of sort of the whole idea behind, I could probably spreadsheet it like all the pressure washers that I bought, but it was way easier to do it tool in hand and test it out and touch and feel it. And that way I can provide some experience rather than just opinion. You know, like, oh, I think, or I hope, or I pray. Instead, this is my experience with this particular thing. The camber's much better on this side than it is on the other. The wheel fit looks better here on this front. Passenger's a little too tucked on the other side. Again, I haven't done an alignment. It's funny, with all that modifying and taking apart and all the things I did, the thing drives perfectly straight. The steering wheel's off, but man, it's straight as an arrow. It's freaking good. So whatever toe and stuff I set up is pretty good. So anyway, I got 1894 tools from Sonic, and I was able to unbox them all, categorize them all, kind of figure out what's what, pull out the tools that I didn't want, get them back in boxes so then I can start to work on one section at a time, get the spreadsheet built, figure out what tools I'm missing, what tools I need to get, figure out which torque wrenches I'm going to want, what that's going to look like, all in like 2 days. And the reason that is the case is because I let everybody that works for me help me do it instead of me trying to do it all myself, which I've done in the past. Same thing with, and I don't know how well this is going to go over because it's going to be rather expensive, but I want a bit set. I want a tool bit set of every supporting product, a bit set, a drill bit set, a blade set, hole saws, and I want a complete set. And I'm utilizing the Milwaukee line. Like, I'm sure there are better blades. Like, Milwaukee's not going to be class leader in all subsections of these support products for your impacts and your, all the different parts and pieces of your tool line. But right now, it's what I have to work with. And so, inside of that line of products, I'm attempting to figure out what would be a complete set, and I'm working with Tool Grid and trying to figure out how can we build a complete set of, it's going to be probably 500-piece set or something like that. The problem is it's going to be rather expensive, but I've spent countless hours working to figure that out. And so at the same time as Sonic, all that Milwaukee bit stuff showed up, and so I had used Lewis and my mom and Alyssa and Ted and all the staff, my dad and everybody, Robert and Justin and everybody, to help me sift through all of those parts and pieces. Okay, wheels are done. Yeah, and we still have some work to do. I don't even know if I'm going to dress the tires because I'm going to take over. Probably going to take these wheels off when I'm going to take this over to the garage, and then after I'm done with it here, park it there. Gosh, from certain angles, this car looks so cool. I get the carbon fiber hood and blah 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 blah. I mean, you can put the other hood back on if you win the car. It's so period correct for me. Other than the wing on this car, this looks a lot like what I had back then. That's what I wanted. The mirrors are cool too. A little hot boy, but still cool nonetheless. This car's fun to wash, a lot like the M3 is. So I finally scheduled, now it's finally mobile, the car's ready to drive to get it registered because I still have the Minnesota plates on it and I still haven't gotten the title for it yet, so I need to go do that. What I should do is just not even register it and just transfer the Minnesota title right over to the owner, but the next owner. Water. So the thing I've noticed about GSF that I like the most is that the residue it leaves behind is very minimal, if not zero. I like the bigger funnel better. Fills up a little quicker. It's also more soluble than the Adams soap is. So it mixes better because it's not so thick. Foams well, doesn't leave any residue behind, doesn't reactivate like other soaps. It's the first soap I found that I've been really excited about and really impressed with. All right, so we got that set up. Let's foam it. Telling you, it's good. Almost as good as my Mosmatic gun is. Looks good foamed up, doesn't it? This stuff works great in the bucket too. Man, I'm in love. Excited. But don't buy it yet. Wait to buy it from me. Let me make sure. Trying to figure out how do I get, yeah, it's slick too. How do I get compensated for all the effort, for the, you know, not the creation of the product, but the amount of people that are going to be talking about the product now after I frickin' put my stamp on it. So Pan, hold off, don't make a video yet. I know you're watching, don't do it. Give me some time to get it first, since it's my frickin' idea. I'm sure some of you will love that. All you Mormon haters. He thinks he created this and that. Well, I frickin' did, losers. By the way, Reebok Nano 9s are the shoes. I'm gonna have a shoe segment every video, shoe placement. I need to get sponsored. So, oh, one thing I noticed, come top of mind here, is that, you know, I don't have a license anymore. So I don't have a license for in financial services any longer. After 2 years, it should have subsided. So one of the questions I have for myself is, if I showed up and took the Series 7 today, would I pass it? Just no studying. I think I could. Anyway, that doesn't matter because I'm not doing that. So anyway, I noticed a thread, and I see these threads often in the OG Facebook group. If you're not a member, go to facebook.com/groups/Obsessed Garage. Yeah, that'll take you to our Facebook group. Submit the 3 questions, and we'll let you in, assuming you don't answer them like a douche. But people are always asking, you know, I'm this or that, and I need to thinking about investing in this. What do you think about that? You know, and people always, you know, chime in, and it's always the same thing. You know, you need some more context in order to provide advice. But I've noticed some common themes here that I think I might be able to help you guys out a little bit. So, especially you younger guys, and you know, well, and older guys who just don't know this. But stop this nonsense of talking about you need to max out. So people misconstrue maxing out your 401k with maxing out the contribution or matching your employer contribution. That is not maxing out your 401k. If you match your employer's contributions, you're gonna be poor for the rest of your life. So don't do that. You need to put a whole frickin' crap ton more. Even maxing out your 401k isn't gonna be enough. Likely, especially if you have a car habit or you like nice stuff. So stop this nonsense of talking about, everybody gives this advice. What you want to do first, you want to max out your 401k by matching your employer's contribution. No. Maxing out your 401k means you're putting $19,500 a year in, and then your employer puts in whatever they puts in, but it's chances are inconsequential in the grand scheme of the rest of your life. Putting in $100 into your 401k a month is not going to cut it. Now, you can choose to roll the dice and hope that you're going to make a lot more money in the future and just don't contribute now. I've also, it's funny, I spent 40% of my life helping people figure out how to plan or how to retire when I have no aspirations to retire whatsoever. And so I've kind of changed my thought process on this a bit. Figure out something you like doing. Even better, figure out something you love doing instead of working at a job that you want to get out of as soon as possible. So figure out something that you love doing. Keep doing it. Save money along the way, and save a lot of it, so that you have the option to do it or not. Let me restate that. Save money so you have the option to do it or not. Meaning, if you wanted to not show up one day, you wouldn't have to. But chances are, you're not going to be this, I want to retire at 66 and 3 months lifestyle. Because why would you, if you love doing what you're doing, why would you ever want to stop? You know? Why would you ever want to stop learning, getting better, improving? So stop this nonsense about, oh shoot, wrong. About matching your employer's 401k contribution, because that's not a frickin' even close to enough. The other thing I'm not a huge proponent of is a Roth IRA. We can get into that some other day, but a Roth doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. But whatever. So save money so that you have the option to live an agendaless life. But I guess it depends on what your priorities are. The problem is most of us that are car guys have this irrational gene where, one, we don't want to wait for stuff. So you can take the Dave Ramsey method and punt that in the trash because it's never going to work as a car guy. And secondly, you're buying depreciating assets. But who freaking cares? What good is it going to do you to die with $18 million in the bank if you never lived any life? Now, I'm not saying be stupid, but find that happy medium. Anyway, it's just something I thought I'd mention that I see all the time. And forget the idea of being a rental landlord unless that's your passion. Don't go down that path unless that's what you want to do. That's always everybody's response is, you got to get into real estate. Well, I'm not into real estate, and I'm doing just fine. Just not interested in it. And so why would you go down the path? Then you create a job for yourself that you don't want to do. That to me doesn't seem like make a whole lot of sense. Figure out another way to make money and invest it. So I think it's bad advice to say you should start investing in real estate unless you want to do the work. Now, if you do the work, just like any pastime, any hobby, any job, anything you do, if you do the work, then chances are, and if you have some talent, then you will probably be successful. But if you don't, forget this idea of passive. I don't do passive anything. Anytime I do anything passive, it doesn't frickin' work. Oh, the other thing I'll mention, and I'll shut up about this. So I've spent 40% of my life obsessing over personal finance. I don't even freaking look at it. I just hired somebody and let them do it. I'm not reading books and watching CNBC and doing all that crap. I don't have energy for that. I don't have time for that. I got more important things to worry about. Cars and what wheels to choose. So unless you're going to dedicate your life to it, you're not going to read 2 books and become an expert. It's not as easy as detailing is. You can learn to detail your car in a weekend. You're not going to learn to be a prudent investor in a weekend. So let somebody else do it. The problem is the guys that are doing it don't know what they're doing either. So find somebody who's just using some system and go out and make money elsewhere. Stop trying to buy Tesla at the right time. That's just my advice. And that's not an opinion. An opinion is based on little to no fact. It's based on experience, my experience. It doesn't make it right. It just means it's my experience. But it's not an opinion where it's based on little to nothing. So my advice for that guy on that post at 25 years old is to don't frickin', who cares? Just put the money in the 401k, pick a target date fund, put as much money as you can, and then put more in. Get yourself up to a max contribution. Then when you get married, get your wife to do the same thing. Then you're putting 39,000 bucks a year away. You'll have, roughly 8 million bucks in 40 years. That's what you need to do. Just remember, 8 million bucks in 40 years is not 8 million bucks today. It's probably a quarter of that in purchasing power value. You got 2 million bucks in the bank, you could reasonably sustain an $80,000 a year lifestyle off of that 2 million bucks. Pretty simple stuff. So let's blow it off. Let's first put some hides on the wheels. So that epiphany of do what you love, save money, and never retire has been something didn't understand, but I'm fully on board with. I have, at this point in my life, I have no desire to build and sell an obsessed garage or something like that. Who knows in the future? Again, this is Hyde Serum Rust Stopper I have it in the store. Gosh, it's beautiful out here. Just a little bit, I need it to be like 5 degrees cooler. It's like 84 out here. It was 5 degrees cooler would be perfect. But none of that's going to matter in the future because I'm going to have an indoor wash bay. It's going to be freaking amazing. So maybe you can help me. How should I get sponsors? First of all, I think I provide enough value. I'm pretty certain I do. To gain sponsorship to build my garage. So I would think that, the amount of exposure, the amount we're going to share, I would think that I know that there would be significant value to the manufacturers of different products to sponsor this project. Not just product, but also, and I'm going to monetarily, what would a spot be worth? So I would need to create a deck of some sort, but what would a spot be worth in the garage? I'm not putting any freaking banners up, but what would if we were to video it, And if we were to, you know, make a product showcase on all the products we put in the garage, you know, what would that be worth? So good news, my Ego application has been submitted, so we're hoping to get it approved, and hoping to get this in the store. I talked to David Beaver about ordering, you know, 15,000 to 1,500 of these, so we're getting close on that. And this is the 650, but I still think the 580 is the sweet spot. All right, let's try this QF quick finish. Again, I don't think this is designed to be like a long-lasting, last-step finisher, but I think it does some sealing, according to what it says on the bottle. I don't want to try putting it on the hood prior to doing any kind of bead make or anything, and see how it does. So just do a dry. Again, there's nothing on here. We just polished it with perfect finish. Ugh, thing's ugly. I need to cover it up with something, or my guess is we're going to end up painting it. I don't want to paint stuff. I'm telling you. If the reason why I don't like that, I don't want my frickin' car going to a body shop, because body shops are disasters. Okay, a little bit of water. This isn't going to be like bead maker. I doubt where you hose it down. I'm just going to put a little bit on there, and we'll just try this. And I just want to see what it's like. It smells okay. Ooh, it's pretty slick. Lots of lubrication. This won't be the final judge of a product, being as this gel coat stuff is kind of funky. It's a little smeary, but not bad. Wipes dry. Spread the product around, wipe off the excess. It's not super slick. Sure ain't no graphene coating, that's for sure. If that was the case, then we'd solve all of our problems. Change the look a little bit. Just for the fun of it, let's try it on the coating. Let's try it on one of these fenders here, not get crazy. So the wash and drive series, I think is going to be significant for us. So what I'm going to do is get people to bring their cars up, and I'll wash it, and I'll drive it, and I'll talk about different products. And drive different cars. I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going bead maker. But we'll see how that does. If you want to get on the list, now this isn't wash it and drive it with you in the car, because I'll freak out. You hang out somewhere else while I wash and drive your car. So if you want to get on the list, we should probably start making a list here. Give us a shout. So the idea is it won't be 45-minute long washing episodes. It'll be a little bit more condensed, where they drive around the block, and we'll do a, 2 or 3, 4 of them a month, something like that. We'll see how it goes. And I'll just give you my perspective on washing it. We'll be doing it using different products. testing out different processes. So that's the plan. The other thing I've considered is maybe I do a bit of an interview of the human that owns the car. The problem is most people aren't any good on camera. So then it ends up kind of weird. So that's why I'd rather not go there. Just give me your car. We'll go give you the tour of HQ while I'm doing it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like my super glue job there. Yeah, somehow I got all the 12-year-olds all fired up because I said that comparing using Goon Squad as a standard against anything I'm doing is ridiculous. There's nothing against Goon Squad, nothing against any of the rebuild shows. What I'm getting at is that I'm not doing that rebuild stuff, and I'm doing things to a different standard. I have a different eye for things. And since when is it better to be lazier, to do things halfway? And even this car, it's 20 years old. The windshield isn't perfect. I should probably replace that if I really wanted to make this perfection. You can't take a junkyard car and make it perfect unless you're spending 5 times more than the car cost originally new. So that's what I'm talking about when people are giving me a hard time about buying a bunch of extra tools. Who in the right mind wouldn't want to have like every tool? Whether you're going to use it every week or not, who cares? Why wouldn't you want to have everything? That way when you do need them, you end up with this amazing grouping of stuff that you can access. And then if it's highly organized and it looks really nice, then it won't become bothersome. It doesn't do any good to have a bunch of stuff and you can't find it. Having an attic filled with a bunch of junk is no good. But having a toolbox that's hyper organized, filled with tools that you may or may not use in the next 6 months, but when you do take on some project that you're working on, that you have access to it, to me is my freaking life's pursuit. So to say that I suck because I'm getting one of every tool is freaking insane. What the heck is wrong with you? Crap, see, there we go. I'm out of frame because I had the screen tilted the other way. So sorry about that. You have to look at my feet on that section. So what I'm arguing here is not whether or not one channel is good or not. So you can shove that up your rear. And that's not what I'm freaking talking about. What I'm talking about is that I'm interested in creating awesome groupings of things, and what some other goof does doesn't freaking matter to me. Why are you even comparing? So when you start complaining and comparing, and then I say that's no comparison, it has nothing to do with arrogance, it's just a different thing. If somebody's interested in taking junky cars and trying to make them a little better, that's fine. Well, I'm interested in taking great cars and making them even better. It's just a different thing. So don't tell me I suck because that's what I want to do. You suck because you're too stupid to see that. I don't have a freaking loser's limp because you don't have the tools that I have. Well, guess what? I've been working my face off and I'm freaking 40 years old, and this is how I make a living, is by digging into stuff like that. So of course I'm going to have it. If I don't have it, then it's a lie. So anyway. But Goon Squad are nice, humble people, and you're an arrogant prick. I'm like, how do you develop that from that? From me saying that what they do has nothing to do with what I'm doing. And it doesn't make them better than me or worse because they have less tools. And guess what? Guess what they aspire to have? And guess what they probably will buy? And guess what they're doing? They're buying houses and building things because they're making a bunch of money. And guess what they're not going to do when they get enough money? Buy junk, old crap cars and make them a little less junky. The only reason they're doing that is because they had to. Well, now they have to because that's how they make money off of you goofs who are dreaming that you can take some junk car for $5 grand and turn it into gold, because it doesn't freaking work that way. You're not buying a freaking Lamborghini for 1,800 bucks at the junkyard, spending $12,000 on it and turning it into great. The thing's not going to steer straight. Everything's going to be vibrating. It's going to be a hunk of garbage. It's going to be overheating all the time. You know how I know this is because I've seen all these cars, or a lot of these cars. It's hard enough to take this car that had 25,000 miles on it and make it really nice. It's still not, I wouldn't even call it great. It's just a really nice daily, a drivable, streetable car version of this car. Still has rock chips and little flexes in the fender and little things that aren't perfect. So imagine what a car that went through the ringer sitting in a junkyard looks like, with a couple of regular dudes with regular means and regular tools putting it back together. That's what I'm arguing. So it doesn't make me suck because I bought a lot of tools in order to create an amazing set. So, screw you. Oh boy, freaking, why do I get in fights with 12-year-olds? Or 20-year-olds that have no life perspective? You think Freddie wants to be rebuilding stinky old Supras, or would he rather be modifying a museum quality one? The problem is, buying a museum quality one isn't as relatable. And so nobody watches it. Just like this. Very few people are going to watch this video in comparison to what would watch a B is for Build or a Goon Squad or a Tavarish video, because this is not as relatable. I don't want relatable, I want great. And there's a place for great too. It's just a much smaller place. I'm okay with that. Quality over quantity. Complaining over compassion. That's gonna be a t-shirt. Oh boy. Civic is looking pretty spiffy though. Yes it is. I just vacuumed out the interior, so the interior is good. Crap, I wanted to drive it right over the garage, but I can't do that because I gotta let that motor plast dry. Maybe I'll take it over there tonight. I just want to keep it inside, and I have so many cars parked outside here. That's why building the garage is so key. I may change my mind, but one of the most common suggestions, I posted the garage plans on the Facebook group last night. One of the biggest or most common suggestions was that I put a bathroom in the lower level. I don't think I want that. I don't want any rooms inside of my garage. I want it to be giant and open, other than the wash bay part. So the main section of the garage, I don't want a bunch of rooms in there. I want it to stay completely open and available. So, I put a laundry room in, which is a room off to the side, but I'm going to have 3 bathrooms upstairs, and I've got one right across the breezeway there. I don't know. I look at it, I view it like I carry water around my house. Like right now I'm thirsty. So I'm going to finish drying. I'm going to walk over to the kitchen, guzzle a quarter gallon of water and come back out here. And then when I'm thirsty again, I'll do the same thing. I just don't feel the need to have water fountains and bathrooms everywhere. I walk 10 feet to go to the bathroom. So, I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but the other thing I absolutely refuse to do, which is another common comment, was, well, what happens when you have a big get-together and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't give a crap about designing anything for a get-together. It's my house. I'm here 365 days a year. 2 times a year I have some people over. I'm not designing anything based on that. That seems ridiculous to me. But then again, it's complaining over compassion is my motto. So maybe I'd get as many views as Goon Squad gets if I was, if I had a bathroom in my garage so that I could have people come over and get wasted and puke on my stuff. Start touching me. I don't want anybody frickin' hugging me. So go get drink at your house, not at my frickin' house. Anyway. Gosh, this car's nice. And again, I haven't gotten the wheels perfect yet, but I'm getting there. The biggest problem is there aren't a perfect set of wheels available. I want a TE37 Sonic with a center cap in gunmetal gray and a 16x7 plus probably 38 offset. That's what I want. And then these 215 Falcon tires, that's what I want. But we don't always get what we want. So this coming week, I think I'm gonna work on Bryce's Miata tomorrow, but this coming week, I'm gonna spend some time on those front fender modifications there. This is all gonna get rolled flat here, or as flat as possible, and rolled down further on Michael Good. Well, shoot, we're gonna do some serious modification if we have to, but like super high end, really well done, look like factory type modifications to the rear fender, so I can get a little bit big, a little bigger offset in there, and not have to run so much camber. This car looks good, really good. I'm really pleased with the interior. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I know there's some different materials in there, Alcantara and some rubbery looking leather from the OE leather seats in the back and the door sills, but I think it all works. I know it all works. It looks freaking great. I've got to figure out how to get an OG license plate frame on here, and I'm gonna go register, get my Florida plates. I'm not gonna do a personalized plate. By the time I get the darn thing, it usually takes 6 or 7 weeks to get it. I gotta have Martin come and do a few little tweaks to the tint. And once I put the S2000 steering wheel in, the radar detector, the interior is super dialed. But anyway, I'm gonna figure out how to, really the only thing that vibrates on the car, even with the stereo, is the license plate. So if I dynamite the crap out of that, it might work out for me. I don't need to do anything extra. I'm not gonna dress the tires because I am gonna take them off. These wheels and tires off and coat them. We'll put one of the other sets of wheels on. I do want to put the TE37 Sonics on the car that I have with the 245, or sorry, the 205 40s on it, just to see if I like it. I don't think I like the 40s. The 40 profile looks kind of weird to me. Let me show you the interior if you haven't seen this. It looks so good. So the doors, nice and clean, but that's leather. And then you got the Mugen pedals. I got a new dead pedal to replace the factory dead pedal. This will be a Alcantara Red Stitch S2000 steering wheel is going to replace the stock one. The black spoon shift knob, the Mugen seats. I just think it all works together. The Sony head unit, I think it's clean. These seats are really great too. They broke in quite a bit. Maybe I lost a little bit of weight too. Oh, and the black floor mats really do make it. Anyway, that's a wrap today. I'll catch you on the next one. Civic's coming together. I think it's probably a no-go on that quick detail stuff, but again, it's probably not designed to be used the way I just used it, so. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. Catch you on the next one. Civic giveaway coming in a few months. See you soon.